Laker Nation, I got a big question for you guys to start today's show. Do you want Kyrie Irving on the Lakers? Simple yes or no question. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Do you want Kyrie in the purple and gold? You're watching the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Harrison Graham. If you can't tell, there's Kyrie Irving news and rumors to break down. That'll be a big part of the show, and then we'll get to a couple other storylines as well. So Shams Charania earlier today reported that the Nets and Irving, basically talks have gone stagnant in terms of his future and a potential contract extension, as he does have a player option of almost $37 million. We'll see if he opts in or opts out. He's got until June 29th to make a decision. Now, the Lakers have been linked by Shams as a potential suitor for Kyrie Irving. Now, there are salary cap implications here, obviously. The only way this really works is through a trade. Basically, he opts in, which this would be agreed upon before then, by the way, and they trade him over, and Russ gets moved to a different team in a three-team trade or something like that. That's really the only way it works because the Lakers are hard-capped. Here's Shams on Kyrie. One of the most anticipated free agency situations involving Kyrie Irving, who has June 29th deadline on the player option, which we talked about. However, more sources tell The Athletic that conversations about Irving's future have gone stagnant between him and the Nets. An impasse currently exists among the parties, and that clears the way for the seven-time All-Star, to consider the open marketplace. Lakers, Knicks, Clippers are expected to be among the intended suitors if Irving heads elsewhere, multiple sources tell The Athletic. For the Lakers, the likely path to acquire Irving and reunite him with LeBron James would be Irving opting to facilitate a trade because the Lakers cannot realistically clear cap space to sign him themselves, and a sign-and trade would trigger the hard cap, thus making acquire Irving significantly more difficult. Now, the challenging aspect of all of this is obviously the Lakers have to have a solution for Russell Westbrook, and Brooklyn ain't taking Russ. You know why? Because Kevin Durant's there, and he will not allow it. Kevin Durant will not play with Russell Westbrook again. So the only way Russ ends up in Brooklyn is if Durant is out of there somehow, if he demands a trade and gets out. So I think for all this to work is these two teams, let's say Irving's like, yeah, I want to go to the Lakers. Let's make this trade work. He opts in. You got to find a third team that takes Russ back. Whether that's Oklahoma City, whether that's a team like the Magic that'll take his salary for a year. You're going to have to find somebody. It's going to have to be a three-team trade. It's possible. We've seen weirder things in the NBA, and maybe this is the move, or this would cause the Lakers to finally agree to trade a future first to do it, because why would OKC take Russ back without getting a future asset? Maybe that future first would have to happen in this case, but I think if you're the Lakers, if that gets you Kyrie and away from Russ, that would be something to consider. Subscribe to the Lakers Report for more news and rumors around your Los Angeles Lakers. We continue to have you guys covered on a daily basis. YouTube.com/LakersTV. This is the channel for you. Don't miss any of it. Rumors, news, trade rumors, draft coverage. Even though the Lakers don't have a pick, maybe they trade into the draft. Free agency and more. We got you covered. YouTube.com/LakersTV. Can Kyrie Irving be relied upon? I think the answer is no, but if you're LA, if that's what gets you rid of Russ, then maybe it's worth it. I think the one way maybe he gets back on track is if he reunites with LeBron James. Really, the last time Kyrie could be trusted was when he played with LeBron James. After the Nets lost to the Celtics, Kyrie said he wanted to stay in Brooklyn. Said, I don't plan on going anywhere, but obviously things have changed. As Shams reports, discussions have stalled between the two parties, that being Kyrie, his reps, and the Nets. So maybe, reuniting with a guy like LeBron James could be on the cards. Now, no one's questioning Kyrie the talent or Kyrie the player. He's tremendous. The problem is he's largely unavailable. I mean, he just misses too much time. Last year, 53 games, and regardless of any of our vax statuses, you're either available or you're not. You know a good example? Andrew Wiggins didn't want to get vaxxed, got vaxxed. You don't think he played a big role in the Warriors season? I think he did. So Irving's proven he's not a trustworthy teammate. He's got an injury history. He's only played over 60 games in his 11-year career in 4 seasons. 4 out of 11. Last year, 53 games missed. Year before, missed only 18. That was one of those more healthy seasons. And still, 18 games is like a quarter of the year. And then his first year in Brooklyn missed 52 games as well. He can't be trusted. He's not reliable. He's better than Russ, so okay, like you could probably talk me into it because of that, but just know you're getting a complete wild card here in Kyrie Irving. Not the best teammate, and not a guy that has proven is going to play 60, 70, 75, dare I say 80 games. Who will be the Lakers' point guard next season? And why will the answer be LeBron? In all seriousness, if Russ is considered the point guard now, who's it going to be next year? Is it going to be Russ? Is it going to be Kyrie? Will it be LeBron? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Coming up here on the Lakers Report, how about trading for John Collins? He's been linked to some trade rumors. Shams had more news and notes around him and some other players. We'll cover that here in just a sec. But don't forget to join us Thursday night for the 2022 NBA Draft. We'll have full coverage of all 58 picks, first and second round of this year's draft. Obviously, the Lakers don't currently have a pick, but if they end up getting one, we'll have you covered. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. Don't miss any of our coverage here on the Lakers Report. All right, John Collins. Marc Stein had this report as well, Shams talked a little bit about Collins. Some indicate the likelihood of a Collins trade is, quote, as high as it's ever been. Collins has always been interesting to me, his relationship with Atlanta, because all of last year, they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him. Then he signs a 5-year, $125 million deal there. So you're like, oh, he's here to stay. Now the trade rumors are back. And apparently they're as high as they've ever been as well. Lakers top assistant Chris Gent, who just got hired, credited for Collins' development in Atlanta, so you could have a little bit of a built-in connection there already, so maybe that could be something that works itself out. Collins, in his career, has been solid. I've liked John Collins throughout his tenure with Atlanta. 16.5 points, over 8 rebounds. He can stretch the floor as a three-point shooter. Pretty good shot blocker as well. This is a good player. I'm not sure what's going on with the Hawks. Now, I know Trae Young is a big fan of Clint Capella, so maybe they want to split those two up and they'll keep Capella to keep Trae Young happy. But if I'm the Lakers, I would love to pounce on John Collins. He's a really, really solid player. He's improved as a shooter. Last year took a slight step back, but still 36-37% from three as a guy who's mostly going to play that center position for you. I like that quite a bit. What's your level of interest in John Collins? Scale it from 1 to 10 in the comments, 10 being very interested, 1 being not at all. Let's hear it. How interested are you in the Atlanta Hawks big man? Because I would be very interested, a guy who can play the 4 or the 5. Also, more trade buzz. The Pacers are dealing or in discussions to deal Myles Turner and Malcolm Brogdon. Could the Lakers make a move for one of those players? Turner obviously being another big man, and then Brogdon kind of a combo guard. Here's Shams again. The Pacers are seriously discussing trades centered around Malcolm Brogdon and Myles Turner. The Wizards and Knicks are interested in Brogdon, armed with the number 10 and 11 picks respectively. The Hornets have expressed their interest in Turner. Sources say still Indiana, who has the number 6 pick in the draft, could elect to continue retooling its veteran core rather than rebuild entirely around young players. Now, Malcolm Brogdon has been pretty steady with Indiana. Didn't shoot the ball as well from 3 last year. That's why in 3 seasons he's at 35%. A year ago he shot like 31%. But this is a guy who had a 50-40-90 season for the Bucks the year before Indiana signed him, and he's still been really good. 19-6 since joining the Pacers. He can run the point. He can play 2 guard. He could be your 6th man. Whatever you want his role to be, he could do it. Oh, and by the way, he's a great defender. Now, the biggest thing with Brogdon is and has always been the injuries. He's missed a lot of games in his career. He's only played in 146 games in 3 seasons with Indiana. That's about 50 games a year. Obviously, 2 of those years were shortened due to COVID-shortened seasons, but still, even if it's 60 games a year, you're still missing 20-plus games per season. He's not going to be a guy that's going to come in and play 75, 80 games. Same with Myles Turner, who missed 40 games last year, but he's been linked to trade rumors for years now. Really good shot blocker, can stretch out to the three-point line as a big as well. Averaged 13 and 7 a year ago. I like Brogdon and Turner. Now, if I had to pick one guy for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'd probably pick Brogdon because I don't know if Turner really meshes with Anthony Davis. That was the whole issue when Domantas Sabonis was in Indiana. Do him and Turner fit together long term? Probably not. So unless you're moving AD to make this happen, I think I would rather have Brogdon out of these two players. Pick one to trade for. Type B for Malcolm Brogdon. Type T for Myles Turner. Let me know down in the comments section. I would pick Brogdon again unless Anthony Davis is moved in a corresponding trade. All right, that's going to do it for today's Lakers Report, youtube.com/LakersTV. That is the place to subscribe, or just keep it simple. Hit that big red button. We'll continue to bring you daily videos here on this channel.